Tīkina atu rā te pūtake o ngā kōrero i te wānanga, tīkina atu rā te hautapu o ngā ariki, kauwhatatia e tāne te wānanga, ki runga ki e nei ruānuku, kia koi te matapunenga, maiangi te matapu iho iho, ka whakamaua kia tīna, hui e, tai ki e. Whakarau ka maira e te iwi whakatata mai, whakapiripiri mai ki tēnei o ngā marama, ara ko Māori tau. Kia ora e te iwi, good morning, atu i te tari o Mental Health Foundation, coming from the office of the Mental Health Foundation all around the motu of Aotearoa. It's beautiful to have you all here today at our webinar. Engari, kia koke ake mātou ki ngā mahi ki tua. So yeah, our kaupapa today is around Mindfulness Month in partnership with ourselves, MHF, the Kindness Institute and Pause, Breathe, Smile. Our hope are to bring tools to help you find peace in the present, while also raising funds for the important policy and advocacy work of the Mental Health Foundation. All donations received today will be matched dollar for dollar by Flight Centre to up to $10,000. Nā reira, ki te hia koe, tēnā tukuna mai, tākoha mai I o pūtea. If you really feel like it, please donate to us so we can continue the awesome mahi that we're doing. If you're not already taking part, you can access free resources on the website of mindfulnessmonth.co.nz. Tēnā koe. So today we have a few guests lined up for us, lucky us. Tētahi o mātou nei kai kōrero I te rangi nei, ko te aorangi Kōwhai Morini. She is a mentor and rangatahi advisor at the Kindness Institute on their board. We also have Christina Cavett, who is the founder and director of the Kindness Institute. Atu I tērā, we also have our own Sean Robinson, who is the CEO, Chief Executive of our Mental Health Foundation of New Zealand. And finally, we have Grant Ricks, who is the director of Mindfulness Training and Development at Pause, Breathe, Smile. Nā reira, ko tētahi atu o ngā kaupapa kia haere ngā tahi ai tātou. There is a prize that is involved with this webinar. Nā reira, as a thank you for joining us today, our friends at Wusa, I'm hoping I said that right, have gifted us with one of their beautiful New Zealand-made wool meditation cushions to give away today. So all you need to do, aroha mai. All you need to do to be in to win is to put in the comments, wherever you're watching this, something that you do to be mindful or take notice of your mindfulness and how you action that. It'd be beautiful to see everyone's comments. That way we can also have a read of them and figure out who is successful in this prize. Nā reira, kia tahuri tātou ki wā mātou kai kōrero I tēnei rā. Tā mātou kai kōrero tuatahi, our first guest speaker, tēnā koe e Christina.
Tēnā koe hoa, Christina. Great name. I just want to start off by congratulating everyone who's a part of Mindfulness Month for getting to this point. I know that some of us feel we might not have done as much as we wanted, but kei te pai te rā, I'm here to tell you the whole kaupapa is about being kind to yourself this month. So just have a little mihi to yourself about how far you've come. Ko wai aho, ko Christina Cavett aho, no Tāmaki Makoto aho, he whāngai aho, so kaore oi te mōhio I tōku whakapapa. Engare he kaiako aho, and I'm the founder of the Kindness Institute, and it's my pleasure to introduce our amazing kaiako meditation teacher today, Te Aorangi, and to tell you really briefly about our kaupapa at the Kindness Institute so you know who we are and what we do. We are a charity who supports the rangatahi to overcome their challenges in life. So we do this through mindfulness-based programs. And our mission is that all young people in Aotearoa will have access to the tools they deserve to manage life's challenges. So we run programs mostly for teenagers, and we also run trainings in schools and with those working in the social sector, and do a lot of online trainings as well. And Te Aorangi, our amazing kaiako today, is actually a graduate of our program. So she joined us when she was about 15 and came through our program. And then she graduated, became a tuakana, where she trained the younger kids coming up in how to understand mindfulness, how to take care of their emotions. And then she's gone to study psychology and Indigenous studies at university. And she's also working for us, going around the motu teaching about mindfulness. So she's an absolutely incredible teacher, the wisest 19-year-old I've ever had the pleasure of meeting. And I have learned so much from her, and I'm just so grateful to be able to offer her amazing teachings today. She blends te ao Māori and whakaaro Māori so beautifully with mindfulness. And I'm really excited to introduce Te Aorangi Kōwhai Morini this morning. Over to you, e hoa ngā mihi.
Tēnā koe, Chrissy. Cool, so yeah, we're going to get into a Matariki meditation, and I'll speak a bit more about Matariki, the origins of Matariki, where it came from, and how we utilize it today. So yeah, if wherever you are, you can get into a comfortable position. You might want to get a cushion, and gently closing down the eyes if that feels comfortable. If not, you can have a slight gaze at the ground. Tērā ia Matariki ka mahuta i te pai. Matariki rises above the horizon. He tira manuku, he tira marangi. It shines across the sky and onto the land. Ka tū puanga, ka tū takurua, ka tū tautoru. The other stars in the sky indicate Matariki will arrive. Ko ia rā te mātahi o te tau. Our indication for the first month of the year. Ka pū te wānanga. A discussion begins. Koni ki te kāpura, koni ki te kupu, koni ki te kōrero. We position ourselves near the fire and we begin a conversation. I will center today's meditation around Matariki, our Māori New Year. This is the perfect time for us to reflect on the past and look to the new year ahead of us. So if you haven't already, closing down the eyes or have a soft gaze at the ground, take this time to connect to your heart space. Listen to your tinana, your body, and take a few deep breaths in and out. Hakina, breathing in. Haputa, breathing out. Hakina, breathing in. Haputa, breathing out. Here you can breathe at your own pace to ground yourself into papatuanuku, into the ground below you. And as we begin this meditation, I invite you to reflect on the year we've had. Take your time to find a few happy, positive moments that stand out to you. Bring awareness to the moments that made you feel a sense of peace, of love, of gratitude. Hakina, breathing in. Haputa, breathing out. And as we welcome this new year, I want you to bring to mind someone who contributed to your life. Let that person come to mind. And as we think of this person, we channel the energy of Pōhutukawa, the star that represents those who have passed before us, Pōhutu kawa encourages us to reflect on the past and to be thankful for those who played a part in our lives. So as you sit and think of this person, think about their traits, their characteristics, the way they made you feel, and cultivate that feeling during this meditation. The feeling of safety, of calm, of security. Remind yourself that you are safe and that your tupuna, your ancestors, are taking care of you. We can often be encouraged to look forward to the future by reflecting on the past. Hakina, breathing in. Ha puta, breathing out. Hakina, breathing in. Ha puta, breathing out. Hakina, breathing in. Ha puta, breathing out. Coming back to your breath, to the present moment. Feel the cold air through your nose as you breathe in. Notice the quality of your thoughts at this moment. You can gently acknowledge these thoughts and then let them go. Matariki is also a time to grant wishes for the new year. Hiwaiterangi is our youngest star in the Matariki cluster. She represents our aspirations for the season ahead, and she is also known as our wishing star. We often send our desires and dreams to Hiwaiterangi to begin our new year with a clear vision of the future. Now I invite you to set an intention with me for our new year. You may want to ask yourself how you want to feel this year, or what energy you want to cultivate in your life. Take a few moments to set this intention for yourself. It could be as simple as wanting to connect with a certain person, feel a certain way, visit a certain place. Whatever you want this year to look like, I invite you to visualize that. What does it look like? What does it feel like? What does it sound like? Notice that feeling in your tinana, your body, repeating the intention to yourself. Hakina, breathing in. Ha puta, breathing out. Hakina, breathing in. Ha puta, breathing out. Hakina, breathing in. Ha puta, breathing out. You can return to your natural breath. going to take this time to give thanks to our tinana, our body. Give thanks to our hinengaro, our mind, and our wairua, our spirit, for looking after us and for arriving in this space today. You should feel proud of yourself for turning up and for taking a few moments for yourself. Before we end this practice, I'd like to encourage you to give yourself a big awhi, a big hug, and thank yourself for showing up today. And when you're ready, you can gently blink open the eyes, come back to the space. Tēnā koutou, thank you for joining me with that meditation today. I'm going to go through a bit of what Matariki is, where it came from, how my tupuna used it, and how we still use it today. So Matariki originated from the story of Rangi and Papa. Rangi Nui, our sky father, and Papa Tuanuku, our earth mother, were inseparable, and their tamariki, their kids, stayed between them. And one day the kids had this idea to separate them. However, Tāwhiri Mātea, the god of winds, was very angry about this decision. So the siblings got Tāne, the god of the forest, to lay on his back, with his back to Papa Tuanuku and his feet up to Rangi Nui, and separated them. However, this made Tāwhiri very angry, so he pulled his eyes out and threw them to the sky. And they turned into the stars, which are now known as Matariki, or ngā mata o te ariki, the eyes of the ariki of Tāwhiri. So whenever his siblings look up to the sky and they see Matariki, or the stars, they're reminded of the separation of Rangi Nui and Papa Tuanuku. So te kāhui o Matariki is known as the Palladius cluster, according to Tauiwi. My Pākehā isn't the greatest, so I don't know if I said that wrong. Kia manoa nui mai. But yeah, Matariki is a time to reflect, remember, and prepare for the year ahead. Traditionally, a time our tupuna, or our ancestors, would celebrate the end of harvest and another cycle, and a time to reflect and give thanks for the support of the taiao. However, Matariki isn't the only star that marks the new year. Some iwi or tribes utilize puanga or puaka if you come from Kaitahu down south, whereas others utilize the setting of rehua to mark the new year. And there are many ways our tupuna relied on the stars to navigate the world, and we still use a lot of these techniques today. We have things like maramataka, which is known as our Māori lunar calendar and our way of telling time, and is a very common way that we navigate time still now. And our tupuna were very mindful when it came to maramataka. They figured out which moon phase a certain flower would blossom, or which moon phase would bring us the most kai, which moon phase was best for us to rest. And I like to follow maramataka when I plan events, when I have hui, and when I know it's time to rest. So today is whiro. It's a good time to rest, good time for you to tune in and have a bit of a meditation and bring time for yourself. We also have Tamanuitera, the god of the sun, which links us to what seasons we are in. The stars, or ngā whetū, link us to what month we are in or what activity we should be doing. And ngā mata o hina, the phases of the moon, link us to what day we are in. For example, whiro is our new moon, which is known as a time to rest. And rākau nui is our full moon, which is a high energy time and a time to harvest kai, to complete projects that you may have set aside. And kore pirikia tangaroa o ruhanui is a moon phase that indicates the new year and is the best time to see Matariki. So we just came out of our tangaroa phases. However, when we enter the tangaroa phases of the maramataka, it is common to have hautapu, which is also a common way my tupuna would celebrate Matariki. So hautapu are a ceremony celebrating the end of year and welcoming in the new year. So hautapu usually include waking up at crazy times in the morning, ngā haora pōrangi o te Māori. Usually include us sending our takutaku, our karakia, our karangatu Matariki, and we cook food on the fire, foods such as titi, which is mutton bird, ika, fish, and many other Māori delicacies, and all this kai is used to pay tribute and to feed Matariki. So we don't actually eat the kai, we just leave it there for Matariki to eat and to acknowledge her. However, for me, I grew up with Māori as my first language, and going to kura kaupapa, it was really common for me to attend hautapu as I was a child. I've been celebrating Matariki since I was born, pretty much, and hautapu are a very special way for me to celebrate Matariki, and a great time to come together with whānau, with your hapu, with your iwi. However, hautapu is not the only way we can acknowledge Matariki. We can also share kai with someone you love, setting intentions for the new year as we did in the meditation. And simply being mindful of the taiao, the environment, is also a very good way to celebrate. And something we're all doing this month, something that may come very natural to some people. So yeah, I encourage everyone, whether you're Māori or not, to celebrate Matariki this year by simply celebrating the taiao, our lands. We often personify our whenua, and by doing this, we can create a stronger bond with our lands. And if we all have this intention, we will all be filled with more aroha and more manaakitanga. Mauri ora. I'll pass it over to Grant from Pause, Breathe, Smile.
Really, really beautiful. I really enjoyed that. I wasn't expecting to be up next, actually. That's a hard act to follow. And I'm not going to try and follow that act with anything that would even attempt to top that. That was gorgeous. I'm really here just to put in a little short plug for Pause, Breathe, Smile. Before I do that, just, congratulations to everyone involved with Mindfulness Month and getting up and organized, everyone who's participated. It isn't always easy to find the time. We have to make the time, of course, to be mindful. And it's great. I've been noting the comments coming in and seeing all the wonderful ways that people are bringing mindfulness into daily life, which is a real joy to read. So, yeah, a little about Pause, Breathe, Smile. First of all, I really hope that the resources have been of use to everyone participating. We really focused on trying to complement what the wonderful work the Kindness Institute have been doing with leading the meditations and focusing on sort of practical daily reminders for people. And so I hope that's been really useful, valuable. A little about Pause, Breathe, Smile. It is a mindfulness in schools program. We focus on primary and intermediate schools. It's actually celebrating its 10-year anniversary this year. We first started the development in 2013. I worked at the Mental Health Foundation at that time, so that's where we really started developing it, piloting it, researching it, and growing it from there. And I think that just with in the spirit of Matariki and reflecting on the past, I think that a 10-year journey is quite a long time. I think it's probably the longest running mindfulness initiative in a mainstream institution in New Zealand now, and it's still going strong. And that's thanks really to our focus on research and evaluation right since the beginning, which we continue to do. And we found that, this program, when we implement it in schools, It really helps tamariki to find calm. It improves their focus and attention. We've seen statistically significant increases in childhood well-being. We know it helps reduce stress for teachers, which is really important. And it really helps, I think the number one thing is it really helps tamariki to better manage and regulate their emotions, which is hugely important for well-being, and also greater kindness in relationships. We've seen that come through in the research too. We've evaluated this for both Māori and non-Māori learners and seen equally great outcomes across, or whether learners are Māori or non-Māori. And all our resources are available in Te Reo Māori now. And we've got a research project happening looking at a mātauranga Māori framework for Pause, Breathe, Smile, and just seeing about the kind of resonances and parallels there. So, just really great again to be listening to Te Arangi's wonderful kōrero there and guided practice. So all I would really like to say to cap off my little segment here is, if you are finding value in mindfulness practice, and if you have kids or nieces or nephews or anyone you know who's in a primary or intermediate school in New Zealand, see if you can encourage that school to get involved with Pause, Breathe, Smile. Over the past 3 years, we have managed to reach about 1 in 4 students in New Zealand, about 20%. That's something like 125,000 students. And that has really been thanks to the funding support of Southern Cross, who came on board in 2020 and gave us the funding to make sure that this program would be free for all primary and intermediate schools throughout Aotearoa. And so it's completely free. There's no hidden costs. And so, yeah, if you have kids in schools and they're not doing Pause, Breathe, Smile yet, please go and speak to your teacher, speak to your principal, and let's see if we can get this right throughout the country, particularly while the funding's there. So, yeah, ngā mihi kia koutou katoa. Thank you for that. And I will pass over to whoever is next on the agenda.
Tēnā koutou e te pai kōrero, nā koutou e nei kaupapa I whāriki hea tēnei wā. Atu I tērā kia koutou kua tai wawe mai nei ki tēnei o ngā hui, e mihi kau ana kia koutou. Koutou e noho tonu mai nei, tēnā koutou. What's going to happen now is we're just going to play a little clip, a little video, and then from there we'll hand it over to Sean, our CEO. Nā reira, mātakitaki mai.
If I'd learnt about well-being when I was at school, I would have understood how to handle the big feelings I had as a kid, and I'd know how to handle them now. I'd know that it was okay to be angry sometimes, because I'd have the tools to manage it. I wouldn't isolate myself when things got tough. I'd know how to love and how to be loved.
If we had a home that was safe and warm and mum got a living wage and didn't have to work so much just to make ends meet, everyone wouldn't be so stressed and anxious all the time, and I would feel settled and happier. My family's well-being is my well-being.
If I'd had someone trained in mental health first aid turn up with emergency services when I was in crisis, it wouldn't have added to my trauma. And I was like, why do I feel like a criminal? All I needed was just somebody to make me feel safe and cared for.
If I had a safe space to go that was just for people my age, with nurses and counsellors and a social worker who gets me, and someone who could help me find a job, everything I need all in one place, I would feel so much more supported with my mental health. Oh, and it would be cool if it was free and there was no wait list.
If I had access to a Māori-led maternity service that really understood me and my whānau, I would have asked for help when I was hapu and caring for my pēpe. I thought I was failing, and I felt alone. I needed people I could relate to.
We can imagine a better future. Can you?
Ana, te ahua nei, kua ahua raru a mātou kōrero. Engari, kei a koe, Sean, kia ora.
Kia ora koutou, everybody. Yeah, look, it's a real pleasure to be here. Thank you, Te Ararangi. That was amazing meditation. I've been really enjoying participating in Mindfulness Month. We are raising funds through Mindfulness Month. It is a fundraiser as well as something that benefits the people that are participating. And the funding goes towards the work that the Mental Health Foundation does around policy and advocacy and commentary on the mental health response in Aotearoa. So we're never going to solve or address the mental health needs of Aotearoa one person at a time. We need systems, laws, policies and approaches that really address the well-being of the whole community. So, you know, the old ambulance at the bottom of the cliff, fence at the top of the cliff, I actually think it's even different from that. So yes, we need services, and you know, hopefully they're not just ambulances at the bottom of a cliff, they're actually services and supports that support people early and assist them early on before they've fallen off a cliff. We also need to actually make the cliff a lot less steep. You know, we need to address those social injustices like the impacts of colonisation, racism, homophobia, transphobia, poverty, but also micro things like bullying within workplaces and schools and communities. All of those things that do harm to people and do harm to our hinengaro, our wairua, our mental health and well-being. We need to be trying to reduce those, so making the cliff less steep. And yes, we need fences at the top of the cliff. And we also need to be teaching people how to walk safely on the sloping ground of life, because we all do face challenges. And so our policy and advocacy and commentary work at the Mental Health Foundation is all about just continuing to chip away, to be in the ear of decision makers, to make public comments about both when things are improving and also pointing out when things need to improve, about getting good, well-researched, well-reasoned submissions and ideas into the processes that are forming laws, like the reform of the Mental Health Act that's going on at the moment, to change the system. Now, you know, that is entirely funded by the money that's donated to us by the public. And that gives us, you know, the total freedom to speak truth to power, to say what needs to be said and not feel bound by the fact that maybe the power system is actually part of the funding of those of us that are speaking. So it's super important that we get that funding, and all of the money that is raised through Mindfulness Month goes towards our team that is working on that policy, advocacy and commentary work. And basically, we can imagine a better future, and we want the New Zealand public to imagine a better future and to help us to make it come true. So, kia ora. Oh, I should just throw in, we're up to 31,000 so far. So, you know, keep that money coming. Over the next couple of days, our partners at Flight Centre are going to match any fundraising that comes in. So now's a really good time to start pitching pitching some more pūtea into the kaupapa. Kia ora.
Tēnā koe e hoa, mihi kawana ki a koe I tēnei wā. O tira ki a koutou, anō nei ngā mihi ki a koutou e te pai kōrero I tēnei rangi o tātou, I tēnei te mana nui o tēnei kaupapa hoki. Ki a koutou I runga pukamata e mātakitaki mai nei, mihi kawana ki a koutou. Thank you very much to our lovely pai kōrero today, this morning, for giving us some insight into Mindfulness Month. O te aorangi taking us through some kōrero and some Mindfulness Month practices. Kia koe, Christina, for introducing us to this sort of practice, and for Grant for introducing the motu to pause, breathe, smile, and the awesome mahi that you were doing. Kia kaua au e tō ai ngā kōrero kua kōrero ke. I don't want to repeat anything that's already been said, but just to support our CEO, Sean Robertson, in regards to donations at the moment. If you are still wanting to donate to the kaupapa e hoa please do so. On that note, as we're wrapping up, I am aware we did say at the beginning of this kōrero that there is a prize up for grabs. There's a couple of minutes before I close up with the karakia to get your comments in there in case you want to win this beautiful taonga from Wusa. And on another note, kia aki tātou I ngā rauemi, kia puta ai ki te ao marama. If you are wanting any resources for yourself or for whānau or friends that you know of, please visit the website mindfulnessmonth.co.nz. There you'll be able to access the resources as well as donate if you would like. Nā reira. I tēnei wā, we're going to do a paku little drum roll. I'm not sure if everyone can hear, but I'm not sure if you want a drum roll over here or on your desk. I'm just going to announce our winner for us. So, mihi kawana ki a koe e Todd Williamson. You are the winner of our beautiful taonga. And if you don't mind, I'm just going to read out your beautiful comment that came up in the chat. So from Todd Williamson's keyboard or iPhone or Samsung, whatever it is, they have said, this month, my mindfulness practice has been leveled up through the Mindfulness Month initiative. I've been doing Christina and Te Aorangi's meditations every morning, as well as reflecting on the prompts provided in the month done journal. Nā reira, mihi kauana ki a koe, e kore te puna aroha e mimisi mō. How that is going to work, our mahi will get in contact with you, Todd. So please, kia mai tonu mai, you'll hear from us very, very soon. Atu I tērā, ko ngā mahi tēnei wā, kia whakairi au ngā kōrero. So I'm going to close up with a karakia. And again, thousands, hundreds of thank yous to everyone that's joined in today and for our pai kōrero. Mihi kawana kia koutou. Nā reira. Ka whakaoti ai tēnei mahi mo te rangi nei. Unuhia atu rā, te pūtake o ngā kōrero o te wānanga, unuhia te hautapu ariki, whakairia e rongo kia paitara a whare, ka whakamaua kia tīna, hui e, tai ki e. Tēnā rā koutou, have a beautiful day and we hope to be in touch with you all soon. Ka kite.